Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Akeisha Hay, the Trini Chef, and today I'm super excited to show you this super easy recipe. I'm actually going to go through the entire recipe with you guys on video just to show you how simple it is once you have all your prep done. So today we're actually going to do some shrimp and grits. So a lot of people will ask questions like, what type of grits should I use? Should I use instant or stone ground? It's really up to your preference and the amount of time that you have. But today I'm going to be using stone ground yellow corn grits. And the reason I like that one, I think it adds a lot of color and texture to the dish. So I prefer to use stone ground than to use instant. Some other tips for today. We're also going to be using chicken stock. You can buy chicken stock in a can, in a container, or you can use a bouillon and dilute it with water for a chicken stock. So no need to panic. You don't need to make chicken stock from scratch. And then the next thing we're going to be using today is this little guy, and it's called a microplane. So definitely something to keep in your cabinet. It's great. It's not the same as a grater. So when you use citrus and you want to zest it, it just takes the yellow off or the green off of it, not the white. So when you have lemons and limes, the white part contains the bitterness. So you really want to get just the green or the yellow, because that's where all the essential oils are and the flavors are. So we don't need the white. So hence we use this, which is called a microplane. It's great for cheese and garlic and other things as well. So consider getting one. All right, so I'm going to start off today by marinating my shrimp. So shrimp is something that takes a really quick time to marinate, so there's no need to do this way in advance. And I have some nice shrimp here, 2125s. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. And this is going to be very simple. Salt. Black pepper. I'm going to use a little bit of Old Bay seasoning, which is great for seafood, and then some lemon zest. So I'm not using the lemon juice, and the reason for not using the juice is the acidity from the lemon juice is actually going to start cooking the shrimp, and then once you cook the shrimp, it becomes very almost pasty. So to avoid that, I'm just using the lemon zest. That way I can get the flavor of the lemon, and it's actually a way more fresh lemon flavor. You don't get a lot of flavor from the juice. You get a lot more flavor from the zest, okay? So I'm gonna put that aside to use in our sauce later and just mix this up nicely. And that is it for the marinating of our shrimp. All right. So as you can see, this is what you have. So now we're going to take our shrimp. All right, so we are going to take our shrimp that we have here. So here I have my pan that's been getting a little bit warm. So now I'm turning it on high heat. And we're just going to sear the shrimp off very quickly. I did not add any oil to the pan because we already added a little bit of oil when we seasoned the shrimp. And all I'm trying to do here is not necessarily cook the shrimp all the way through, but just to get a nice color on it. So when we get to the second stage of building the sauce, you'll see how that comes together nicely. So this shrimp here is going to cook and get some color. And while we do that, we're going to start on our grits. So here I have my pot, and then I'm going to add my chicken stock. And I have 3 cups of chicken stock here that I'm using, and 1 cup of grits. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio. And I have some more chicken stock as backup just in case I need it to thin it out at any point in time during the process. All right. So I'm going to let my chicken stock come to a boil, and that is important. We do not want to put the grits in before this has come to a full boil. And the grits that I'm going to be using today, it is this one, the red mill grits slash polenta. All right, and we're actually going to add to the polenta slash grits we're going to be doing some grits, cheese, and butter. So very simple, but a lot of your flavor is going to come from that chicken stock. So as you can see here, our shrimp is starting to turn a little bit opaque. So we know that it's starting to cook. So I'm going to turn them over. So this dish is one of those dishes that honestly, even if you don't think you can cook, you can really impress people if you can get this one done. It's very colorful, it's very tasty, and it's something that a lot of people shy away from because they're not familiar with how to make grits. So this is the shrimp here that I've turned. As you can see, it has some nice color. And once the shrimp is cooked a little bit or color on the other side, I'm going to pull it out the pan, put it on a plate, and then we're actually going to make a sauce right in here and put the shrimp right back in. So, and this is not going to take very long. By a minute or so, we're going to be done with this while we have the water for our grits waiting. So this dish actually comes together very quickly. So I tell you guys this because this is one of those things where even if you don't think you can do it, this one you can do. Because I'm doing the whole thing with you and you're going to see how quick it is. Okay, so my chicken stock is come to a boil here. And I'm going to add my grits. One thing with grits is that you need to mix it extremely well once you put it in your pan. And then you need to keep an eye on it and keep mixing. If you do not keep mixing it throughout the process, it will get lumpy, it will clump together, and it will be a hot mess. So now that my pot is on high and I have added my grits and give it a good mix, I'm just going to turn it down to about a low medium heat. And while that is going, I'm going to pull my shrimp out of the pan. Put that right back on. And this is your shrimp here. This is the finished product. All right. And while your shrimp is going, I'm just going to keep checking on my grits because I don't want it to clump up on me. So now we're going to start building the sauce for the shrimp. Right back into the pan that we cooked the shrimp in. Add a little bit of olive oil. Some onion, some peppers, some thyme, lots of garlic, and we are going to deglaze this pan with the lemon that we have. I'm going to add our shrimp right back to this. you can see how nice that looks. And just to get a little bit of sauce going, I'm going to bring back a little bit of that chicken stock I had left from the grits and add that to it, just to give us a little bit of a sauce. And now that has come together nicely, I'm going to add the tomatoes, diced tomatoes. And folks, that is it. Okay, so once this is cooked, see that? We're gonna take it off because we really don't want to overcook the shrimp. So that's done. Turn that off and we are good to go. Now we can come back here to our grits, which is coming together very nicely. And to this, I'm going to add some butter. And all of this really helps the grits to get nice and creamy. And one thing, just be very careful when you're cooking grits. You want to keep it on a low once it starts to boil, because it will bubble up and splatter, and you can get burned pretty badly with it. It's not fun getting hot grits on you. So now that the grits are coming together, as you can see, very nice, I'm going to add my cheese. And I'm really not going to add a whole lot of seasoning to this because we have the chicken stock. You have a little bit of butter and you have cheese, all of which have salt and flavor. So that's pretty much all you need for this dish. All right. Let's see how we looking. Hot grits, so be careful. Perfect. So I'm going to turn this off, cover it. Grits are done. Shrimp is done. So as you guys can see, this took us no time at all to make. So shrimp and grits. Then I'll show you how we're going to serve this up. But before I forget, I'm going to add just a little bit of scallions right in here. Right now that it's done, it's already off the heat. Mix that in. That's it. So when we come back, we'll plate. All right, guys, so let's plate our shrimp and grits. I love serving it in a bowl because it's just such good comfort. So grits go in first. As you can see how creamy that is. And then we're going to add our shrimp. Get a little bit of the tomatoes and onions in there. And then we save some of the scallions just to garnish. And there you go. Shrimp and grits.